This is an ABC News special report.
Good morning, everyone. I'm George Stephanopoulos in Washington, D.C. And all you kids watching television might want to get your parents, because we're going to give you an update now on Hurricane Charley, which is turning out to be one of the most devastating hurricanes in the history of Florida and the United States. The Associated Press is now reporting that at least 15 people have died in this hurricane. And a short while ago, Florida officials, led by Governor Jeb Bush, joined by the National Director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, went before reporters and talked about the devastation. Governor Jeb Bush saying our worst fears have come true.
So once we approached Punta Gorda and saw a community destroyed, in essence, I mean, particularly the mobile home parks, it's just, you know, it's hard to describe seeing an entire community totally flattened. And that's what happened in many of these mobile home parks. And then to see, you know, the sheriff's department lost its roof. There are no police stations. There are no fire stations that are operable right now. Clearly, this was where the center of the storm hit. And as we approached it, coming up the coast from Lee County, you could see it. And it brought back very vivid memories for me personally of going through Andrew and seeing similar type of destruction. This is a different, in one way, in that the destruction is crosses communities here too. I mean, we've not, the inland counties also have had very similar type destruction en route in the path of Hurricane Charley. So there's a lot of work to do.
What about casualties? Was there enough warning in this area?
I'm sorry?
What about casualties? Have you gotten any preliminary?
We have not gotten, other than the fact that the emergency operations director knows that there are casualties. They can't get, as of yet, they can't get the search and rescue teams out into every possible place to be able to quantify the number of deaths. But if you see the devastation from up above, it would be a total shock that there weren't deaths. It's really, really sad.
ABC's Barbara Pinto is also in Punta Gorda, Florida. And Barbara, as we said, the Associated Press is reporting at least 15 deaths so far, but that number is almost certain to climb.
It is, George. Just taking a look at a snapshot of the damage here, you just get a tiny look at what has gone on in this entire county. Punta Gorda, this town of 15,000, was right in Charley's bullseye, and we have seen driving around here entire neighborhoods flattened. There are at least 13 trailer parks in this retirement community, all of them flattened, just pieces of scrap metal blowing around. Now, all of the 3 hospitals in this town are also damaged beyond use. Hundreds of patients had to be evacuated to other facilities, roofs ripped off of those facilities. And we need to tell you that it is really tough to assess the damage at this point for a number of reasons. As they mentioned, a lot of power lines are down, a lot of trees are down, neighborhoods are difficult to access. Also, this is a seasonal community, so a lot of people travel. They're out of town this time of year, so there's no real assessment of how many people were home when the storm hit, how the evacuations worked, who may or may not have been home, and people, volunteers and emergency workers are now going door to door to try to ascertain that information. And making matters even worse here, this is one of the oldest populations in Charlotte County in the United States. 56% of the folks here are senior citizens who now have a lot of cleaning up to do. George?
Barbara Pinto, thanks very much. A very sad situation in Southwest Florida today. The director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency was with Governor Jeb Bush today. He said anyone in need of assistance should call their 800 number, 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-FEMA. We've also been told that President Bush is going to head to the area tomorrow to survey the damage. We now know that Hurricane Charley has touched down again in South Carolina. It's significantly weakened. Only a Category 1 hurricane right now, 85-mile-per-hour winds as it moves up the Atlantic coast. We will continue to follow the progress of the hurricane and the rescue and search efforts in Florida throughout the day on ABC News Radio and abcnews.com. And of course, we'll have a full report tonight on World News Saturday. I'm George Stephanopoulos in Washington.
For continuing coverage of this story, stay with ABC News, abcnews.com, and ABC News Radio. This has been a special report from ABC News.
We now rejoin Power Rangers Dino Thunder.
Notice. What are you working on? Just because I'm using your computer doesn't mean I have to tell you.